Previously on the Nerdy Ronin Network.
Hey, Squeaky. I think for today's show we should talk about yesterday. No, I don't mean talk about She-Hulk more. Gross. Good grief. And we've done it. That's right. Happy Fri-Yay, everyone. The work week is on its way out. The weekend is about to begin. First things first, you may hear a little one running around in the background, hooping and hollering. My apologies, can't be helped. It's been a bit of a rough week. But we're going to make it through, just like all of you. Thanks for being here. Like and subscribe if you haven't. We've got something awesome to talk about today. A very talented person and a very good movie. Imagine that. On this channel, reviewing a good movie. You know, it happens. If you would, take a look down below in the description at some links to things we love and enjoy, especially coffee, whether it be Invader or Geek Grind, especially Nerdrotics Blends. They don't pay us, we just love their products. Feel free, check it out. You might find something you love as much as we do. So, how was your week, everybody? Good? Bad? In between? Are you happy it's Friday? Let me know in the comments down below. I do read each and every one of them. So let's talk about this young man right here, shall we? Richard Curtis. He was born on November 8th, 1956 in New Zealand. And he has written a bazillion screenplays, movies, etc. Let's scroll all the way down. Let's start from the beginning here. Look, he had a lot to do with Mr. Bean. He did 4 weddings and a funeral. Almost everybody has seen that, whether they're aware of it or not. Bridget Jones and Love Actually, which is actually a great movie. As simple as it seems, it's not just a rom-com. It's complicated, with complicated things involving complicated people. So if you haven't seen that, check it out. The sequel to Bridget Jones, and on it goes. He did Vincent and the Doctor from I'm not going to say from 2010 because I don't know when the episode actually, I'm assuming 2010. From Doctor Who, War Horse he wrote, and we keep going. Mamma Mia, here we go again. I'm not going to hold that against him. Man, he's done some great stuff. And the reason we're going to talk, and if you, here, just as a side, if you have not seen About Time right here, you need to watch it. It's fantastic. Extremely unique and well done. But anywho, let's go to the movie we're talking about today. One of his. It's called Yesterday, 2019, PG-13, an hour and 56 minutes, and it is fantastic. As far as a newer movie, in this day and age, I expected no less from Richard Curtis, having written it. But here's the thing. Around the same time, another movie was done involving Bruce Springsteen music. And it was awful. I think it just wasn't written. It was written more about, the social decline, if you will. But regardless, this is not that. And I did not watch it for the longest time because I didn't want it to be ruined. Now, in fairness, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, not a huge Beatles fan. I've heard quite a few of their songs. I've heard quite a bit of their music. When I was younger, my father had some of the little records, 45s I think they were, and he had a couple of Beatles ones. Those, although he wasn't a huge fan of the Beatles necessarily, he loved records. or loves records. So, I grew up hearing a couple of their songs, but in general, just never been a huge fan. The movie Across the Universe was a very unique take on some of the Beatles music, and I enjoyed that soundtrack. And I'm going to be honest, I quite enjoyed this soundtrack for this movie. But I didn't watch it right off the bat because of the Bruce Springsteen movie was awful, in my opinion, and I wasn't a huge Beatles fan. And I'm sad that I waited so long. Because if you look, besides the fact that it's got Ed Sheeran in it, and he does a fine job playing Ed Sheeran, I guess. But Himesh Patel is the lead. Lily James is the longtime manager slash friend that he's known his whole life. Oh, a special shout out goes to Joel Fry, because his character Rocky in this movie is hilarious. Not gonna lie, he's the comic relief and he does a great job. But I've got to give it up to the character of Jack. Himesh Patel is Jack Malik and Lily James is Ellie Appleton. The chemistry they had, fantastic. Well done. Very well done. And here's the thing. This, more than anything else, is a love letter to the Beatles music. Alright? And what happens? The main character is a struggling, starving musician. Not super talented, but, what have you. And he gets hit by a bus one night when all the lights go out on the entire planet. Just suddenly, all the lights go out. And he's riding his bicycle and he gets hit by a bus. Knocks two of his front teeth out, wakes up in the hospital. And he comes to find out that nobody remembers who the Beatles were. They didn't exist. Neither did Coke, the drink, Coke, cigarettes, and several other things. I'm not going to spoil everything. But, so these things, so what does he do? He pretends like he's written those songs. And he starts playing those. And in this day and age, this is a separate timeline, obviously, from the normal one. But in this show, in this movie, it's in our time, so it's social media driven. People recorded it, record him singing one song, and Ed Sheeran finds him that way and asks him to come open for his concerts, this, and his fame just rises and rises. And it's interesting to see how the people of today treat that music when it comes to when he's trying to name the album, and he uses the names of the Beatles albums as reference, like this is what I'd like for it to be, and to listen to how they react to that and treat those titles like they're tired and all. And I just gotta say, the changing Hey Jude to Hey Dude, which was Ed Sheeran's idea in the movie, was hilarious and well done. So it's great. It's got some language. That's about it. As far as things you shouldn't, that might bother you or whatever. There's some drinking, whatever. I mean, nothing major. But it is such a good movie. And it doesn't necessarily go where you think it's going to. It's got a perfect ending, as far as I'm concerned. If you are not aware of Richard Curtis's work, and if you've not seen any of his movies, the ones I suggested would be a great start. I would start with Love Actually. A lot of people don't like it because they just assume they just consider it a rom-com. And it's definitely not. It has a lot more to it. It's deeper than that, in my humble opinion. So, if you're a fan of the Beatles, or if you're not a fan of the Beatles, I would suggest you should watch this movie. Everyone. Even you, Mom. if you can get past the language. My apologies. But it's definitely a unique movie with a great, unique premise. And there you have it. That's our Fri-Yay review, y'all. Thanks again for being here. We're glad to have each and every one of you. You make our days better by showing up. From Michael the Microphone, Bob, Squeaky Chair, and this semi-sort-of fat Beatle-loving nerd. We'll see you for sure on Monday. Have a great weekend.